Hello, welcome to February's reading vlog. I have just spent all day updating a new website. I switched from Wix to Shopify. I was about to say Spotify to Shopify. I am enjoying it. Why is it unfocused? There is not a person there. Don't know why I thought there was a person there. There's not. I have spent all day updating this website. I'm very confused. I'm trying to get it synced with my Instagram right now. Ain't not working. I like how it's turned out. I think it will be a lot better than my Wix one because I know a lot of people like Shopify and it's a very easily run system. I guess it's just very different than what I'm used to, so I'm having a bit of issues getting used to it. I stress that I made the wrong decision. I don't think I did, because I think it can reach more people and more of an audience for my books, that I think it will be easier, don't mind this, for people to find it. Yeah, so my new website is live. I'm stressed that I made the wrong choice, but it's okay. I think it will be better because it can reach more people. I don't, I guess, understand the system and how it works. It's very confusing for my brain. Guys, I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed about this because the websites, I'm just confused. I'm so confused. Products are weirder and I don't want to like do anything wrong, and I want it to be easy, and this seems not easy to me, but Wix wasn't really helping me with anything, and I think Shopify can do a lot better. I think the integration and how the system works is very confusing. I've been working on this since like 12 o'clock and it's 6:30 and the website's live, but the fact that I can't easily add downloadable content to the app is annoying, or like comments to the shipping stuff, or I don't know. I'm not like a crazy big writer, so I feel like I don't have to worry about it because I don't have a huge following or anything, but it's stressing me out. So I am going to set up my reading journal for February because I have not done that yet, and I'm just going to breathe and try and not freak out because I'm stressed. But the Wix payment was getting a little outrageous because everything was upped in price, and yeah. Hello. It's the next day, and I'm finally starting reading. I am starting today The Cherished, which on Storygraph it says it's a thriller, which I feel like I didn't originally know, but that makes me more excited because I haven't read like a thriller mystery in a while. So I'm very excited to start this. I'm just adding it to my Storygraph. There we are. So I'm starting this today. I do not know how much I'm gonna get through it. I hope at least a chapter or two would be nice. Ooh, the chapters actually seem shortish, longish. When was this published? 2023. But basically, a bit of what it's about. Jo never knew her paternal grandmother, which makes it even odder that she's left Jo both her farmhouse and her land in her will, and a letter with incomprehensible instructions Jo would throw away the letter away, bizarre demands and all, if it weren't for all the memories she has of the old house, the last good memories of her father. But when Jo arrives, things are strange. So, the tenants are odd, they stand too still and their eyes are too big. They seem somehow stuck. Jo feels something dark and decrepit in the old shack behind the house. So, very mystery. I just, look at this cover. Stunning. But I'm going to be sharing this today. I'm very excited. I want to take a photo of it before I take... Ooh, that's pretty. But, yes, it's a thriller, which I haven't read in a while. So, that's exciting. And then I might also print off more of my little book covers to put in my reading journal, because I didn't get that done last night, because I have these ones printed off already, but that's just because I was hoping to read this book last month. But if you watched last month's vlog, you would know why I didn't get around to that. But yeah, so I'm going to start reading this, and okay, I am 78 pages into The Cherished, and it's still picking up pace, but because it's a thriller, to me, this might also be the definition of a thriller. I've never looked it up. Thrillers is the mix between a horror and a mystery. So it's like a mix of spooky and intrigue and mystery. Makes sense? So we're getting there with that, where I can see where like the horror elements are gonna come in. We also are already getting the mystery, where like there's this boarded up cottage house on the farmland that Jo, our main character, has inherited from her grandma that was her dad's mom. There's a lot of like, she's missing some memories from when she was a kid, from when her dad, as they described, had an episode kind of, and ran away with her and locked her in a motel for 4 days because he was scared, and it was described as his schizophrenia. I don't think he has schizophrenia. There's no... this book wasn't tagged as like a fantasy element because my brain was going along the lines, because there's been a lot of talk about like fairies and stuff, so I was like, maybe it's like changeling children, but there hasn't been any fantasy elements. So that's where I'm out of trying to figure out, being like, it's alluding to like fairies being the thing, but like, what actually is it? Is it just like a super like what's the word, like a superstition of this location? But then there's like this really malnourished child, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. And there's like letters from, I think, the other guy that's living at the house, Tom, and he's writing about how like Hattie, or Haiti, I think it's Hattie, is like worried about the door and is constantly checking the door and like can see light under it. And when I look at the cover, there's like, the main character Jo was having like a nightmare where she was remembering about like a bunch of wings. So, and on the cover there's a bunch of moths, and I'm like, is there like a bunch of moths in this house? But then it was mentioned that her gammy had like these big slashes on her leg, and she said it was fighting off a bear. But Jo has like these scars on her arm, and she said, and her dad had said that it was from her gammy like hitting her with a rake. And clearly there's clearly something going on where it's like, it's not that. But I'm like, I don't think it's going to go into the fantasy element. So I'm not sure what the memory is going to be. The mom, I hate her. I feel like there's going to be a moment later on in the book where our main character Jo, she comes to like a realization of like, oh, this is why my mom's this way. And it gives her like a little more empathy towards her mom. But at the moment, her mom is a so it's very good. I always like thrillers and mysteries and trying to figure out what's going on, and I find with a lot of thrillers there's always some like memory play of like where you can't trust your mind or your memory. And I'm not saying that's like an overdone thing in thrillers, because I think it adds to the intrigue of like what's going on. Can we even, by the end of this book, trust what this character is saying and thinking to us? But it's really good. I'm excited to see what like is happening with this house. Oh, what I was talking about, the cover, is The main character does like a lot of stitching and sewing, and she likes making art through sewing, and there's like, it looks like a patchwork cross stitch like sewn cover with like moths on it. So I'm like, the villain can't be moths. Or like the culprit or whatever. But I'm gonna read more tonight. I am very much hoping to finish this book. Maybe on Saturday, maybe tomorrow would be nice as well. But I'm gonna read more. There's a new episode of The Traitors tonight though, so I'm gonna watch that, but I got an hour before that comes out, so. I finished it. I think I'm giving it a 4-star review. It was a 3. The ending pushed it up to a 4. I'm not still sure. To me, it wasn't that thrillery. Like, I guess that it was, but it just wasn't on the level as like other thriller. Like, I didn't feel anxious or like scared of like looking out my window at nighttime. Like sometimes I feel when I read thrillers. But it was good. I think it got better towards the end as more things got explained. And I liked the connection that Jo and her mom had more throughout the story. The story takes place across like 4 days at most. And maybe 5. In the time of like from when she gets the letter to when they leave. But like from when they get to the farm to when the book ends, 3 days, maybe 4. But it was good. I think you want something that's... My issue with calling it a thriller is that it was more, to me, a fantasy horror. Like, it not even a horror, though. Like, it was, I guess, like a fantasy thriller where there is some, like, whimsicalness to the story. I don't know. I really don't know what else to say without spoiling it. But it was good. I liked all the characters. I think the main character had very good character development, because even though she was raised in kind of like a snooty family, she seemed like snooty, but in a different way, and now she seems way less snooty. Like, there was one line in the book that I just didn't like at all about how she viewed one of the characters, and I was like, whoa. But yeah, I'm gonna say 4 stars. Pretty good. It's my chillaxing day off work today, and I have a goal. Finish Cinder House and start Heartless Hunter. It's a goal. Doesn't mean it's achievable, but this book is nice and thin, and I have read like not even at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs. I love the writing in this so far. Very, like, I see it. It is in my mind. There's a fluff on my glasses. Beautiful. I'm liking it. Also, this is stunning. Look at that. But it's great. I'm on page 4. So, gonna keep reading. Are you my little boy? Are you gonna stay? I once again love how this is another clip of me in my exact same pajamas. I promise you, I have gotten dressed at some point this month. I am starting Heartless Hunter. I took the cover off already. Heartless Hunter. I think Crimson Moth is the other word, like another title. I'm gonna start this today. I finished Cinder House a few hours ago and I just did my reading journal on it. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun twist and difference on the Cinderella story, and I liked it. I think anybody who wants a quick fun read of a story that, like, you know, but is slightly different, it's always gonna be fun. But I'm starting this today. I'm tempted. Why do I feel like I just sprint? I literally just picked my camera up and brought it over here instead of over there. I feel like I may want, once I'm done this, to just buy the next book in the series and read it, because if it's good, I might as well just continue on the train, you know? Because the other books that I wanted to read this month were finishing the Realmbreaker series. Do I think I can finish that this month? I would rather finish it all in one month, and I have other plans for video that I have to film at the end of this month, so I can't include that in this video, but that's a different thing. But what I'm saying is, I might just buy, ow, that hurt my nail. I might buy the second book in the series if I do enjoy this first one and read it next. Maybe. But I've been feeling stress. I'm always feeling stressed, but I've been feeling stressed. I'm not always feeling stressed, but because I want to read books and I feel behind on my own goals that I set for myself. And I think I have to come to the realization that I'm reading slower because I'm busier. And that's okay. I don't have to like it, but it's what's happening. I'm gonna read this and be okay if I don't read as much today or tomorrow or the next day as I had wanted to. And it's okay. Hello. I am this far into Heartless Hunter. Here's my thing. I'm loving it. It's on the way to being absolutely 5 stars. I have all my things. I'm gonna sit at my desk and read. I want to try and like crunch time through it because I would love to read the second book this month. Do we know if I will be able to? Who knows? Because I have to edit this video this weekend. It's currently Monday. I have to edit it on the 22nd. Yes, so I would like to try and finish reading it maybe tomorrow. That would be crazy, but it could happen. So I'm going to just kind of like power through it and then see if tomorrow I can go and buy, I think it's called Rebel Witch is the second one, go and buy that. But my reading pace has slowed down and I don't know if that means I'm kind of in a reading slump. If so, I'm bothered by it because I just have so many goals. But this reading vlog would be longer usually. It's just that I'm doing kind of like a separate reading type video that is coming out in March that I need to film at the end of this week. Well, not this week, at the end of this month. Can't say much on that. But yes, I'm annoyed at my reading pace, but there's nothing I can really do. But I did get some of my own book edited. I'm hopeful to get more of it edited. Oh, I can edit some on Saturday. Just because I'm getting a tattoo doesn't mean I can't work on my own book that day. Anyway, because I really want to get that done. So it's like, what do I prioritize? Creative reading or like fun enjoyment reading or a career that I want to have? You know, so it's kind of hard because I want to finish this book because I've only read 2 books this month and that kind of makes me feel sad because I wanted to read more this month, but I have been busy and my work schedule is supposed to pick up even more, and yeah, it's just, that's life, but I don't like it. But yeah, I'm going to try and read and get through more of it. I'm at 148 pages and I'm really enjoying the book. I just got to say that. Like, I am loving the tension, the drama. This is like everything that I want out of a fantasy enemies to lovers. Because it's not even really enemies to lovers, but it's the tension that she is a witch and he is like the top witch hunter, and he thinks she's the Crimson Moth and she knows she's the Crimson Moth, and like it's the dynamic of, it's all that. And the history, like Gideon's backstory, we've gotten like bits and pieces here and there. I'm like, give me the details. I want to know. But this is, it's great, guys. It's great. So I'm gonna read. I finally finished it. It was great. I think I'm going to give it 5 stars because I loved it. Was it a little predictable? Yes, but that does not make it a bad book. If things are predictable, like, you have to do predictability in a good way where it actually pays off in like a satisfying sense, and it did. Like, I don't know how to explain that when a book throws like a curveball at you, or like a secondhand embarrassment moment where a character says something and the other character clearly hears it and then they have more tension. I love that. Do I actually like hate it a little bit because it's like, I don't like that confrontation part, but it's great in a book because it just pushes the story along, and I love it. Even if it's like the most predictable thing to do. It's great. It's a classic. It's a classic thing, but I loved it. The tension, the drama, chef's kiss. I did yesterday, or not yesterday, the other day, I bought Rebel Witch. So I'm going to be reading this, but that will be in March. So this is the end of this reading vlog because I need to go and read a different book, which is going to be this one, which I'm doing a separate video on. So that will be after this one, but I have to end February's reading vlog now, and this hair does not want to stay in my bun. But Heartless Hunter, 5 stars out of 5 stars. Beautiful, loving, amazing, all that I wanted. This made me almost feel like I'm not in a reading slump anymore, because I still kind of feel like I am in one, just by the fact that it did take me still a while to finish, but it's purely just having to convince myself, why are there fluffs on my bed? Where did these come from? Anyway, yes, so I will be reading Rebel Witch in March. Probably will be my first read of March. And then all the other books that I did intend to read this month will be in March as well. So, yes, but if you want to see how I like the second book in the series, you'll have to wait for that video, because this one was great. And I do feel a little sad that I haven't read this much, like, as much as I wanted to this month, because at the moment I've only read 3 books, but this one will be my 4th, even if it's in a different style format of a video. Anyway, subscribe for more. Bye!